Because crypto bros make money literally by making money, and they've made over $1 trillion out of thin air. They'll accuse the U.S. government of making money out of thin air. Maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government.
Okay, hello everybody. Yeah, I think everyone's working hard. I have 30 seconds of over latency still. So trying to unload it. Yeah, here we go. We are live. As you can see, let's put some music on. Not too loud, just for the background. Hope you are doing good. And this red day, red week even. Bitcoin, who is here already? Where is my chat? I'm gonna move the chat on that screen and move the other chart on the screen here. Okay, Caneric is here. Hello. Oh. This should be in triangle base. So we had a few invalidation, a few counts invalidation this week, as we broke down, obviously. But the main count is really up today, right? Or it's down, but I mean, it's going great. Hasta la Vista is here, Raven is here, Dominic is here. Hello, everybody. So, well, we're gonna see what we can expect next. You'll see we're gonna remain in between. I mean, in between two potential scenarios, or even three. But well, we're gonna work with what we have and try to see what we should look for next. For now, you know, there was a few indication that we were going down, right? You know, I had the idea that we could see further consolidation before dropping. We didn't get another bounce here. But surely there was some sign of weakness that are quite simple to read, in fact. You know, just using the simple indicators, which here will be RSI for my just favorite oscillator here. We had a break of the RSI support here. Trend line on the daily, right? The daily, very important time frame here. Which occurred when we broke as well the mid channel here, right? And yeah, that was already quite a sign of weakness. You know, the idea is that we should see a test of the lower boundary here. So that's where we're gonna see if this is gonna hold or not. Because if the low of this corrective move happened just at the trend line here, that means it could come actually pretty soon. Ideally, we'll have a confluence with the lower boundary of the channel as well. So channel here on log or on linear will be a bit closer here. I wouldn't say there is one better than the other, but you know, usually I favor a low channel here for Bitcoin on a higher time frame. But you know, we're pretty close to what could be the bottom. Should this hold, it doesn't have to necessarily be the bottom at the bounce here. For example, we can bounce over the lower boundary and make a lower low in price and a higher low bullish divergence out of a nearly oversold in the day. And we could also break this support to well, if we have a bit more bearish cross section, right? It's not monetary, but that was kind of the minimum I am looking for the end of this correction. Again, minimum, not absolute certainty. So yeah, quite some sign on during the course of the day. What is this trend here? Should be another. The loss of this trend line, the loss of this midline, the fact that we have really just several days of just bearish close, not even a bounce. The inability, when was that, Wednesday, when we have the CPI volatility, whatever, we did a pretty strong bounce, which made me doubt my short for a bit. But yeah, big dump after it, and we retraced nearly to the open, but we didn't manage to close above the open. So again, another sign of weakness on that day, right? The fact that, wow, we SFP is low, so it was expected to have a bounce here. In fact, we had confluence with accounts. So I'm not a fan of that playlist again. Or defocus, has been a while. So yeah, we did have a SFP, a pretty strong bounce, but didn't manage to close above open. So again, another sign of weakness. Yesterday evening, even worse, because well, we closed below each daily level, apart maybe from this old block, but you know, we closed below here at the low of the candle after kind of a fake SFP, if you want. It's not really fake because it played out really well for the one that catch it. But yeah, so that was another sign of weakness here. Now, before I go on the counts, there's something that kind of bother me here. Well, bother me, not necessarily, but how can I say that? Bring me a bit of more bearishness into my bias, maybe. We'll see if we recover and slow. If we do, well, that's gonna be a nice deviation of the range, because for now that's maybe what we're going to build. I'm doubtful we're going right away here, but you know, maybe we don't go much lower and reclaim this. But what concerned me here, so we have the previous year yearly VWAP close, basically at the low of the range here that we closed below today. And that make all of this potentially a distributional range, you know, especially as we saw that, well, there was diminishing volume here coming into final upthrust, where we got, again, volume coming back to trap a bit of buyers, and we start to see really a strong selling incentive. As you can see, that you have volume contracting, you go up pretty quickly, and then you have volume more or less expanding on the way down. You know, here we saw a lot of heavy selling into support, which was already making me a bit bearish and made that move a bit surprising to me. Oh, not surprising, but got me a bit off guard. But here, well, we have a big checkout, but we can see clearly again this event of selling, where as we go down, volume increase as there is more and more selling coming at the low, yet overall volume is decreasing, which kind of suggests to me that there is really distribution into support, into what into the available demand. At some point we break down as there is not enough demand, or just supply increase a bit too much and the floor breaks, right? But here, yeah, we really have this feel of distributional event, especially on this 3 move here. We can see you have a nice short squeeze after it, but that doesn't mean it is not distribution. And that's kind of what I feel. It's so, you know, distribution, accumulation, it's often a bit iffy in between. It's really depend where how the run's gonna break. And if at any point we reclaim the low of a range, give it a bit of room, because for now we can just retest it, but we see with the count where we can expect a retest as max. Or you can draw maybe a trend line here. But yeah, if we reclaim this, well, okay, fine. Especially if we have a lot of volume coming here, and if we come a bit lower, but we reclaim this strongly, okay, then you have your capitulation event. That's fine, because that means what I've been sold might have been bought back here. And especially, you know, on derivative for that occurrence. It's if you have an increase on open interest here, a lot, which already occurred here. But yeah, if you have a big increase in open interest in a short term or tight range, and this get reclaimed, well, you're gonna squeeze the shorts and you're gonna just trap sellers. And you know, the short that I've been building on the way down, they might close at the low, but when you're a liquidity player, you don't necessarily have to close your short position at the low. You might rather want to fill long and use your short closing to push price up, basically, to help push price up, because it, you know, you can try to trick a bit people like that. Yeah, that's what I want to highlight for now. The volume is a bit concerning for bulls, and make me consider maybe a bit more bearish scenarios here. We'll see. I guess we will need some bearish news catalyst, whatever you call it, to really push us down a lot more. But it's not impossible we'll have a big bearish news event coming in the coming days. And if we start to, you know, lose the level that everybody is looking at, well, of course, there is interesting support below. We have, you know, golden pocket. We have all the stuff I don't remember right now, but there is, well, we have fair value, yeah, inefficiency here, fair value gap around the golden pocket, and a POC as well with this range. So we got inefficiency on the way up, where there is almost no volume at this level, you have the POC and you have the golden pocket. So surely it's an interesting level, but at the same time, you're gonna break the channel here. You're gonna break as well your kind of parabolic advance here. And so it make me wonder if we're not gonna have more of a few months of movement down. Maybe it's not. It's not impossible. If we go much lower. Because I remain open still to the possibility that we just start around here, maybe a bit lower. Maybe we find support where everybody is looking at. Rather either front run or go below it. So, as I say, going below it. It's also a bit of weakness here. So that's a few considerations I have in mind right now. Weekly, we have, well, we're reaching important support as well on the weekly here. There's still a bit of room, but you don't really want to lose your 45, 55 area here on the weekly RSI. Otherwise, I show that bear and control here. That's something to keep in watch as well, and we'll have the 200 daily moving average or weekly one. We can go a bit below the weekly on the intra-week price action. Yeah, well, that's where everybody is looking at. The simple SR flip, last order block consolidation, and you have your, we call it mainstream moving averages here. And you also have, I think, where is Anchor VWAP already? Oh, it's a lot lower. Anchor VWAP is a lot lower. But yeah, also if we just for the rest, if you broke your channel, another way to look for a target for channel is just to look for the high of the channel, right? Which bring us below to potentially naked POC here. And that would not be something insane. Remember 2020 when after we printed our first wave up, during the COVID crash, we did have a pretty strong crash, right? And allow me as well to remember that I have the main count suggesting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a wave 1, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a sub 1, right? And that's why that's the most bullish case where we are looking at an ABC for the wave 2 of lower degree here, and we will be entering third wave of the bigger third. I cannot write with a mouse. Anyway. That have been my main idea for a long time. Now, considering a bit the potential drawdown we could have here, I'm considering a count where I still count this as a 1, 2, and take this triangle as a wave 4 of the same degree here. What would that change? Well, that would change a lot of things because it says that we can go below wave 2 here. Because in that case, we are retracing all of this wave 1 in a 2, so we can come to the low. And also mean that the correction can last a lot longer because instead of just correcting this, it can take a lot longer and come a lot longer. We will be retracing all of this. Right? which is how many times? 3, 4 months, 140 days. Yeah, anyway. But that means that it can take all summer if you take the same time length of this impulse. Could bring the correction around September, shorter or even longer throughout the end of the year, but yeah. I am not really considering this count here, but some might. I wouldn't say it's completely invalid, but it breaks my personal rules for Elliott Wave on Bitcoin. What you see doesn't necessarily make a big difference, because we can agree that this as a whole might be a full impulse of its own. Knowing that, of course, it can even be a lot more bearish, but not gonna spread too much thought here on a very tiny breakdown so far. But it's possible that we call first. Everything's possible, always. Maybe let me catch a look at here. Hi everybody. IBC or much lower, bro? Question mark. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do that now. Hey, Joker. 26,400 SFP reclaim. I really dislike the 25k region for some reason. It's too obvious. Yeah. The truth is, everything is obvious, especially in insight. It's depend, how we come there. I think we still are missing some fear, according to the Fear and Greed Index. We're still into neutral. That's also what kind of bothers me. It's seeing how we grind towards a lower boundary of a range without triggering any fear here. It seems that people are still too much buying the dip. There was no capitulation on the first SFP yesterday. I don't think there is much more capitulation today. I mean, not even, a bit here, you can see, but not a bunch of liquidation, not, not hundreds of millions of liquidation, not a big wipeout of open interest. So unless it is really well hidden in the fact that market makers are just shorting into the low to fill their own bids, and people are shorting this, which could mean that, yeah, in that case, when they close their short, it's gonna squeeze on the other side. But otherwise, seeing short in control like this, you kind of expect at some point that somebody just let go. And with this kind of price action that is baiting buyers, the slow grain, you kind of expect at some point a capitulation, and I still didn't see capitulation here. So yeah, that's also something that concerns me in saying that, well, maybe we just go down straight towards this. Oh yes, because if we consider all of this as a 1, well, that means that instead of an ABC here, we might be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an A and ABC. Well, it's not going to be anything like this, but exactly. But we could see acceleration if there is capitulation and the big guys keep selling into the one that's trying to buy the dip. You know, that's a risk when you have such a rise like this. It's also the kind of price action that is betting for long, just like, you know, the move back up here, and you sell into the dip because people got stopped out on their long, rise back up very quickly, really aggressively, so they didn't manage to position back on a pullback. And on the first pullback, they try to position and it go deeper, so they try to position again and again and again and again, and that produced liquidity. And that's a bit what we have here as well. And yeah, this is where people have been able to position for the one that were not quick enough to react on this, and are doing this on a swing perspective. And I was saying, okay, we might break 30k, and at that point we go full moon, and I'm well positioned. That's great. Now they got shaken out here a bit, but are they still trying to buy? Or are they still going to try to buy this, or even this? Yeah, that opened the door for kind of a crappy acceleration. Let's see the counts now. Just let me see what happened here. At least we're starting to build a range here. Quick look. I didn't look too much at the chart today. It's they're like this. I rather the way. We have a nice ABC here, 1-1 with a flat in the middle. Seems that we have a finishing pulse here, but yeah, it's very straight on into that. Anyway, we start with what, 4 hour, 1 hour chart. It's gonna be readable enough. So April impulse, yes. That is our impulse, obviously. The first one, either as a wave A, either as a wave 1. Right? Now, how do we count this? There's mainly 2 ways, in my opinion. Let's see here. Beer. Well, I could use beer. Yeah, sorry. I'm coming back. I'm a bit thirsty. Oops. It's Friday, right? In take a beer on Friday. So that was one of my main count here. With I lost the other stuff now. Okay, never mind. Another level I've been really well respected here. The wave 3 of this degree reached 161.8 extension. So the tick right now we are at the 161.8 extension of that. Should be in green now. So we are a really good level for wave 3 of this degree. I try to count that, but the sub count here is a nightmare a bit, which which is often something that occurs in such circumstances, where you have fake high lows, fake SFP, or fake that fail. So a lot of overlapping price action trending. But we might expect support here, and for now it's holding. We're also at 1 hour forward support already, with a 4 kind of bull div. But that count would suggest, well, still potentially a bounce toward previous trend support. Where is our trend line here? What kind of trend line we can take? Come on. So, we can have a bigger bounce here. It's possible. And validation should be wave 1 here, so we shouldn't go much higher than the 3-2 here. Right. We can take our low still, but I mean, we can range potentially. Especially with the length of wave 2 and wave 3 in terms of time, I mean. Yeah, we can expect a few days consolidation here. It doesn't necessarily have to go much higher than it has already. We have the minimum at 146 here. So it can be just lateralizing. We are also at the 1-1 extension here. So that's also pretty good support. And if this continue, well, you see how this count, well, depending how deep is the fifth here, it has a potential target toward golden pockets below our order block at 24K, where we have our illiquidity here. Inefficiency. So that's possible with this count. Let me check something. Yeah, we can extend as well here. Yeah, that should be possible here. So for now, I'm gonna follow that count as a main ID, but the secondary one, that was for the sub count. Secondary one is triangle B's here. Oh, sorry, yeah. Okay, that's what is not at the right place. Should have been here. That was the alternative, because if we come down there, at that point we'll have potential for a BC like this. It's really short wave P, but nonetheless, 161.8 extension. So that worked for ABC, but that also means it could be still just a wave 3, 4, 5 and starting an impulse. Or if it accelerates here at some point, we can have a wave 3 that go lower as well, but here, if we come here, most likely still be interesting to buy, but I will see. I will keep in mind that I may be just playing a wave 4 instead. And if we are seeing a nice reaction, but then the low get taken again while we start to form an impulse, which would be overly a bit more bearish. Again, we'll be looking to buy a second time on the 5th for the bounce of a B, because we could have a very big bounce or not, but buy the 5th with confluence of bull div daily, etc. That would suggest potentially a more drawdown overall. The alternative count, so triangle B's here, is the one that's going to be a lot shorter and well, which suggests a bottom just near us here. So I kept a triangle here, kind of work a bit better for the wave B that is along the same time here than wave A. So let's make A, B, C, D, E. And start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, likely. That 5th is getting extended, but that work. Maybe we have a 3, 4 here. It will give a bit better target for the 5th, I suppose. Yeah, confluence 1, 1 extension here. So we'll come a bit lower because we take the fib from here to here instead of here. I can see how this could be tempting. Ideally, we spend a bit of time here, and if we start to see an accumulation range, and open interest just creeping up too much, might be the play to look for. But yeah, that's one is interesting because it's in between range low and 25k that most are looking at. Well, it's 700. So yeah, it felt right before we come here, as we did, but right now I feel like market makers are just selling into demand. Everybody has his plan. Buyback seems still pretty bullish, as the Fear and Greed Index is also suggesting, and even my Twitter feed doesn't seem to be much more fearful here. So that is a very interesting count. You have support. Yeah. As well, when market makers want to sell, well, the job of a market maker is to print a chart, right? Is to provide liquidity, but they are also the one printing the chart. And so that's why when things reverse, you're gonna have a bunch of support that just don't work out, or work just slightly enough to bait buyers, especially on derivative, and with only a 2% move, you're gonna bring a bunch of liquidity because people are gonna use leverage, especially if they kept getting stopped out. They're gonna increase the leverage to keep the same position size that they initially wanted. I mean, I think so because I did that in the past. And yeah, talking from experience. And yeah, so you're gonna have a bunch of bullish signal, you know, all the way down, because it brings buyers to sell into. That was something I was discussing to Discord yesterday with a bunch of people, were telling me that, yeah, what do you think? We have a forward bullish div, yeah, here and whatever, even here, maybe, or I don't know, bunch of bullish signal that you may have gotten all the way here. Say yes, but yeah, that's what happened when we go down, until things get clear because they're in the acceleration. So I would use caution. Be ready to flip the game pretty quickly if needed. You know, here is basically, if you start to reclaim 27,400, but reclaim it, you know, well, it starts to look less bearish. If you reclaim POC, well, it starts to look pretty bullish again, knowing that it can still be a 1-2 or AB or whatever, but I mean, it can still be a 1-2. In theory, we can still come back to the high. I don't really believe we will if we are bearish. But yeah, if we start to reclaim this area, which is wide, but you know that above 27,400, you might want to be very attentive. Look how the order flow is looking at. And above POC, you clearly made a deviation. Oh, and what I was suggesting to a friend earlier as well, so it's gonna be hard to catch, right? The low. Why is my shot not loading more here? Okay. Might zoom in into this event here that are to the green boxes. Because they have really very similar play with quick Wyckoff kind of schematic. Well, everything is a Wyckoff event, but they have a really similar one, you know, like the bottom here, where you have something that is really pretty short in terms of time compared to the spread and the number of tests of the range. You know, you don't have a lot of tests of the range, unlike more classic, not more classic, but trend that we saw in the past. You have a lot of ones where a quick drift up after secondary test, after the selling climax, secondary test, a very quick strong short squeeze that come back into a higher low here with very decreasing volume. You can look at how is founding and open interest behaving in this event, and they have a lot of similarities. Some made a lower low after a spring, right here. So, which is with the spring, you got a bit more volume. But basically, you play the range. It's play really well, and you just see this going back up. And even here, it was similar. It was just so quick that I got a bit taken off guard as well here. I was looking at this, I shared the schematic, I said, wow, it's look exactly like we had at the bottom, but I don't know. But you have really decreasing volume here. Aggressive selling climax, second rate test much lower, but you got your trust sign of strength. First short squeeze into negative founding. Founding was a bit iffy at that moment because of Coinbase, Gemini, and stuff. Nonetheless, and you print your higher low into very strongly diminishing volume. Here you have your big capitulation event where you have your distribution here with increasing volume the way down, increasing pressure here until it finds the liquidity. So here you have distribution, but that got flipped extremely quickly. Usually if you have so much time into a more or less deep distributional event, you should have spent at least as much time as here, but here it was really quicker. All of that to say, it's not impossible that things shift really quickly here as well if volume get high enough and fear get high enough. But you can, study a bit this event, see how they behave. This one was a bit harder, but kind of the same here, especially. You get lower volume and things were not obvious apart from the very end. It was really bearish and then position closed and flipped in this short amount of time, and they get that's kind of the weird thing, very aggressive behavior that we see in here is how the market makers, instead of accumulate in a range, just buy it up every sales and force a short squeeze. There was something really unorganic here, in my opinion. We saw the amount as well of liquidation that happened here. I remember saying it looked like market makers got fucked. Like, one market maker was sensibly positioned on the sell side slowly, and another guy went with all his ammo and just pushed into its limit. And in fact, we learned a few days back that there is a market makers that are in difficult situation in the US, are leaving or trending. So maybe that event is due to what happened with Jump Crypto and whatever the other market maker. There might be repositioning side. I'm not understanding every details of the mechanism here, but yeah. 31k high does not look like a top on the daily. I don't know what you we have bearish divergence all the way here. We have diminishing volume. It will look like a top if we're down. It's a head and shoulders after all. But all of this, it can be a good top. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying we cannot reverse here. Definitely not, but look enough to me. At which level, if we reclaim, you will close your spot edge? As I said, if we start to reclaim 27 and so 27, 28, I might start to close. Yeah, I'm a bit more than edge right now. I have taken several profits, especially from the latest short here from yesterday. But yeah, you know, there is no one level I can say, well, if it goes above this level, I close. But if it goes toward 27, 28, we'll be looking at the behavior and be ready to close, or, you know, see a local swing high and then put my stop at that level. Like now, I wouldn't want price action to go anywhere above Wednesday swing high. Could have I have a bunch of stop losses here. Because I reshort, I compound the short here after taking profit on the way down. I compound it here, so this position, or taken profit on the way down, I compounded, well, that occurrence I compounded on another account, but now I have stop losses above here for a part of it. And yeah, still above that swing high for another part of it. And if I had catch a short here, it's a bit too greedy to short on there. What do you think of 25,700, 800? Whereas the block and a few other confluences. More about the forward block, which we kind of confirm a loss here, alright? Yeah, close below the forward block here. No other sign of weakness. That can be, if you start to see a forward close above this, show some strength. Well, you know it can be a wave 4 still, but ideally you don't want to forward close above this other block. Now that will be close below it. Two hours, you say, at 25, 700, 800. Yeah. So we're talking about that. Wait. Yeah, okay, you take all of the candle here. I mean, I was not necessarily looking at this, but I mean, that's where we have the 1-1 extension of this as well. Or even we take the other one. No, I can see reason to long now still. Now, when I mean now around here, ideally you still make a lower low or even two lower lows. Ideally, you're able to count something from the finish of wave 4 here, which I tried, but I don't see. I'm suggesting this as a triangle here to try to simplify the countdown, but still. See an impulse here, move back up, but we bounce as a 1-1 extension, so it's not a target for anything, for any kind of impulse here. And the structure, it's oh, there is extension, and this is a 1-2. Oh, this as a 1-2. 160-18, yeah, that can work. And this as a sub 1-2. You know, ideally that's what I want. We want to count from the last significant swing high. So, you know, maybe from that one I'm gonna try to scalp along here and see if it continues. One, two, three, but even here it's 3-wave, but okay. That would mean potentially 1, 2, 3, 5. It's really ugly here. It's really ugly. 50%, so that works. Yes. It shouldn't go much higher, because otherwise we will overlap one. And the idea was to be in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, maybe two other lows. And you come into your order block here. And you know, this can be extended a bit more. Wave 3, we hit the target here, 160-18, but you know, that doesn't mean it can't go lower. It's a minimum I want to see, but no, here you have a nice completion, you know. Here you have a nice completion. Yeah, you have two nice impulses. And here, not really. At least the target is met. Yeah, ideally we do something like this. Oh, it can. Is it a leverage position? Do you have a different strategy for hedging your spot BTC? Yeah, I have several positions on sub accounts or different contracts, in fact. At that point, well, you know, I started to short at the very high, in fact, which was close for me when we break up here. Didn't manage to catch anything here, so I started to edge back at these highs here with a pretty clear invalidation, so I was able to get a bit more position, but I will take on several accounts with different leverage. Well, spot position I can use till a 3x leverage to just edge with not all my stuff. especially as I had invalidation here. I can even use whatever leverage. It doesn't really matter as long as I can edge. I can be short 1.25 my spot holding, basically. Y.25 up to 1.5 for the edge. So more than just a 1-1 for me personally, because it allows me to, well, to close a bit at the low of the range. Right, which was compound again here. 1.5 and yeah, etc. But after I took leverage position with tighter invitation that I took here, and I took, I think, a bit late here, but it's still around here, you know, it's like 1.7% here of invitation, so that was quite clean. It's not always easy to manage several positions at the same time, but I'm a lot more willing to have limit orders on an edge, especially here. It was kind of easy because we were really close to my principal invalidation. So yes, I was aware I could get stopped and do an SFP, but I would rather get stopped and re-enter after we come back inside the range. But here, you know, it was an easy trade, easy invitation. And after I will have day trading, swing trade that I go a bit more deep, and I gotta micromanage it along the way, and sometimes I lose in that as well, a lot more. Has anyone ever used crypto for tip A drug risk score? Hello FBI. Hello, bonjour. Can you tell me your expectation in the next 15 minutes, 4 hours? Well, I guess I can give you what I gave here. But you know, it's guesstimate here. Or you know, we could also print a 1-2 here and come retest yesterday, and I don't know. And if I zoom out, I know that potentially we did printed the wave 3 here. So you know, we could be seeing a lot higher pullback over the weekend. Oh, if we go to squeeze some short, I'm not really expecting it. It seems a lot weaker than anything else, so I expect more down. And ideally, we want to see some more capitulation on open interest and some better week like this, rather than just this, you know, larger week, larger volume. Maybe we're gonna print what div. We're already, we're gonna see 1 hour in oversold, break is support. It's trendline support on 1 hour. 4 hour as well, gonna lose 4 hour bull div, dip it a bit in oversold and get 1 hour, a new 1 hour bull div out of oversold. That ideally what you want to see toward 25. But that's not in the 15 minute or 4 hour next. from here right now. I don't know. No, I didn't micromanage today. Didn't watch too much because otherwise, that's where I would do mistakes. And as I see it, I see impulse. Can see this. No. So here we tested liquidity. I mean, I can see this as a decent short. Doesn't have to wait all the way up here. Welcome. Do you TP quick versus edge or wait for full target to play out? For the edge here. Well, where would I? Usually, I like to have a take profit on the markets to change. Golden pocket, POC, way down somewhere. So I will have an alarm, or if I go to sleep, I can let a take profit bit lower, and ideally I just play the range still with an edge. That's where I can go back to more neutral, right? But here, well, I didn't reach full target. What was my plan on this? Because we had the thief here, so I went. I don't remember that. That was not so long ago. It was a week ago. Don't exactly remember how I played it here. Well, I think I was looking at this for a vessel here at first. And last week we were here, and I say I was expecting just another high to get taken. Well, I was planning for potential more upside, but I remember that we were here. Yes, this is 4 p.m. I was looking for the high to get taken one more at least. And yeah, just on the markets change here, I will have to take profit. Because often you got a reaction. It's the same here. It's the same here. Or here for the short from here. In fact, I did a bit earlier. No, I didn't take profit here. Where was it? No, that was yesterday. So I will have to take profit here because there's stop losses here. In fact, there's gonna be a playbook strategy because this is. I didn't play out here. Sorry, what I meant was, do you TP at 1% to cover stop or for a meaningful target like a... No, on an edge on an edge I'm not gonna scalp because I'm not gonna... It's not gonna give me anything on an edge. But I will have as well another trade a bit bigger position. Ideally, that will take profit quickly, depending how I manage to grab it, but if I manage to grab into a week like this, I will try to take profit pretty quickly to pay for a stop and be able to you know, do it 3, 4, 5, 6 times if needed, and still being in profit after being stopped 5 times. But for that, for the quick take profit scalp strategy, well, that mean I was really in front on the BC and was able to catch the very high, which is not always the case. But that's not on my Edge account now. In fact, here on an Edge, I will easily take compound an Edge here because I have an invitation tight. But otherwise, I could wait for markets to change here, where I would have in fact take profit on another trade, on another scalp or day trade. But at the same time, I could be opening on the edge. It's kind of contradictory, but if I have a high confidence that this is a good high. But that's not going to be the same sizing indeed. Okay, cool. You're welcome. Well, on these good rolls, I guess it's gonna be all for today. I think I covered pretty much everything I got to share. What is Scream doing? Why is everything is red here? It's still open? Okay. Weird. Where is Scream? Scream is here. So it's retraced a bit. 17%, I think we'll be able to come a bit lower. Coming in overbought, bearish div on daily with everything dropping. Might be a bit careful, might even want to get the lower one. And I think there is... Well, funding is slipping pretty quickly. Seems a bit impulsive down, so... Oh yeah, maybe backup time. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Hope that was helpful. If you're still there, make sure you leave the like and share this. And on this, I will wish you a good weekend. Take care, trade safe, and see you all soon. Thanks again.